Welcome to the podcast. Wait, that's bad. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Lizzie.
And I'm John.
And this is Harry Potter and the Second Time Readers. Reader.
Just
me.
Read? Okay, you just mentioned something because you were just finishing the chapter.
Yeah.
Which is really actually an interesting point. We're going to talk about, we'll go over a summary in a second. Why does Harry have a cloak and it's not confiscated?
I don't know. And I feel like more people are learning about it too. Like Luna, Neville, Malfoy know about it. So I feel like the more people know about it, the more people would want one.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
There's a philosophical, I don't know if it's conundrum. I don't know what the word is. Wes? Trying to get the peanut butter on the bottom of the jar. There's a philosophical thing. We'll just call it a thing. Of, I think it's like an invisible ring. Like if you had a ring and it made you invisible, the philosopher said that people would only do evil with it. If you have like something that makes you invisible, like nobody is doing good with that ring or with that whatever that makes you invisible. Yeah. I like Harry is maybe an anomaly with that, but I feel like if you have an invisibility cloak and you're at a school, I mean they like do bad stuff with it, but they just don't get caught. Malfoy would be bad stuff. Yeah, Malfoy would be doing horrendous stuff.
I feel like Luna and Neville would just sit under it and like not go anywhere. They would just be like, I can be invisible and be an introvert.
They would, yeah, like they would be eating in the Great Hall and just like drape it over them. All their friends would know they're still around, but they'd just be invisible. It'd be nice. What
did Mr. Potter do with it? Just like
mischief.
Yeah.
He was very mischievous. Do you say mischievous or mischievous?
Probably mischievous. I don't know. Mischievous.
But I don't know. I thought that was a great question. Why he's like legitimately able to have the cloak at a school? It seems a little dangerous for a kid of his age to have it.
I guess Dumbledore wants him to have it, and that's good enough.
Yeah, that's all we need to know. Dumbledore said use it well, so that's all we got. All right, so we're doing 5, 6, 7, and 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Can you give me a quick summary of chapter 5?
This is when Harry gets back to the Burrow. And it's just kind of like talking about their life there, and Fleur is there, and Bill. And I don't know what happens. They're just at the Burrow.
Yeah. No, that's pretty much it. The excess of phlegm. None of them really like Fleur all that much.
Phlegm. That is so good. That made me laugh so much.
Yeah, that's a great insult.
They get their exam results. That's something that happens. Yeah. Pretty much it.
I have to just look this up. Do you remember how many owls Hermione got?
Whatever is one less than the max. Is that 11?
She got 10 owls. So this is wild because it shows you how actually good of a student he was. Do you remember how many OWLs Percy got?
12.
He got 12.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So he's like the perfect student.
Yeah.
So he's better than Hermione.
He must have been doing some time turner stuff too.
You think?
I feel like he had to. His third year, they probably gave him a time turner. I feel like there's so much side content off of that. Like Percy getting 12 OWL, like Hermione is by far the most brilliant person we've seen in the books. And then Percy is just like sneaking out one more OWL than her, which is insane.
Hermione had more going on in life, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
Percy.
Yeah,
Percy was probably just like studying all the time.
Agreed. I mean, Hermione is literally saving the school every single year, on top of getting perfect grades.
She has a school life balance.
Yeah. Not so much with Percy. Percy, him and Penelope Clearwater. That's his only distraction. Otherwise, he's just studying every single day.
Is like the Ron and Harry amount of OWLs like the normal?
Yeah.
The normal spread.
I think so. That's like I was really lucky because SAT scores had changed the year that I did SATs, and so it used to be 1600, And when I took SATs, the year I took it, it went to 2,400. And I did terrible on my SATs. I got like
I did terrible on mine too.
Out of 2,400, I got like, I think like a 14 or 1,300. And it was
that's
bad.
better than so mine would be 1,600, but I got like just over 1,000.
Yeah.
But it was freezing cold and the windows were open and I blame so many other things.
But when I went home, my parents, I think they must have thought that it was a 1,600 scale still. Ooh. They were so impressed with my SAT scores. I came back like a 1,300 and they're like, you almost beat Jake, my like smart brother, who pretty much beat me with a 1,600 score when I was on the 2,400 score.
Did you tell them?
Mm-mm. No, of course not.
That's crazy.
I still got into school and all that. We were still good.
Like your scholarship would come back and be like, why are you in this scholarship bracket? Like, shouldn't you get more?
Exactly.
I think of you as the smart brother though.
I'm the cerebral or like intellectual. No, not really the intellectual. I'm the nerdy brother.
Yeah.
I was never like that in high school though. I was very much a Ron in high school. Didn't study, didn't care at all. And then I kind of like started getting into it and I started enjoying it a bit more.
I feel like in whatever you're like interested in, you just like study it all the time.
Wholehearted.
But just like in a classroom setting, I feel like you don't like that.
Yeah, don't tell me what to study.
Yeah.
I want to study what I want to study. Just go
down your Wikipedia loopholes.
There is no greater tool than Wikipedia. I love that thing. Just wiki deep dives.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, Percy getting an 12, one more OWL than Hermione always, it never ceases to amaze me. It blows my mind that he's that good of a student. Well, yeah. Sorry, I'm taking out hair out of my couch right now. That was gross.
Lovely.
Yeah, lovely. What do you think about Flora? Do you find her annoying?
I don't know why everyone's hating on her. Like she's kind of just being herself. Yeah. Like she's not doing that much.
Yeah.
I think they're probably just annoyed at the situation more than the person. Oh, he's chasing a fly. That's so cute. Yeah,
that's what he does. He hunts. I sometimes let flies into my apartment, so he keeps them occupied for like a half hour. He will hunt flies.
That's really cute. But yeah, I don't feel like Fleur's doing anything like especially deserving of hatred. So.
Yeah. And they're just racking it up on her, calling her phlegm. Like that's brutal.
That's so funny.
It's a great comeback, but it's a little mean.
Yeah.
One sec, sorry.
I don't have many notes again, so
yeah. I mean, there's not like there's stuff that happens in these, but there's not a ton.
Yeah.
There is one thing to note that Harry is doing two things. The first is he's slowly gaining trust in Ron and Hermione. He like tells them the prophecy, which is like a cool step for Harry. And the second is that he is no longer able to be an Auror, which is like a bummer.
Yeah.
So what do you think his career is going to be?
I don't know. I'd never thought he was going to be an Auror anyway.
Really?
Yeah. But
yeah. I
don't know. The only thing, I think Hermione would be like a curse breaker because she's deep in the ancient rune.
Yeah, right? She'd be fantastic at that.
He could be a professor.
He's not a bad teacher.
Like he already has the DA or had the
for
DA.
Sure. I think that's actually not a bad career path for Harry. I feel like he would love going back into the classroom. Hogwarts is kind of his home.
Maybe he'll own the ice cream shop.
Legitimately? Yeah. And he'll give for students a free one every half hour.
One chosen child to get free ice cream.
When you finish the series, we will go to Cursed Child together in the city. What is that? It's the Broadway play in the city. Oh. And there's a crazy bits of information about what their career paths are.
Is that... I keep driving past this Harry Potter billboard.
Yeah, it's either the Harry Potter Experience or the Cursed Child. It's one of the two.
Okay, that sounds fun.
So we'll do both. Okay, chapter 6. Again, there's not a ton that happens in that one, but chapter 6 maybe a little bit more. Oh, great, my neighbors are revving their engines. What happens in chapter 6? Draco's detour.
They go to Diagon Alley to do all their shopping, and then they run across Malfoy in the robe maker store, and then he like reacts to her touching him, and then he goes and runs off from his mom later, and they follow him into Nocturne Alley, and then I think his name is Borgin or something like that. Yeah, so he talks to Borgin. Is that his name?
Yeah.
And they're like the trio is watching from under the cloak, and it's kind of like suspicious, like Malfoy's threatening him.
Nice.
Yeah,
it was great.
Oh, and they go to Weasley's I don't know, the joke shop.
Yeah, Weasley Wizard Wheezes. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So one of the first things they do too is they check Ollivander's, and they see Ollivander's is out of business. What do you think about that?
Did he die, or we don't know that?
We don't know.
That's so sad.
Do you think he died? Do you think they killed him?
I think they're probably utilizing him. Like they captured, like the dark side captured him.
Oh, okay.
And is making wands, because I think that they were talking about that. Like it's better to have, like Ollivander on the good side than to have him be for Voldemort, because he's like a really good wand maker. So
that's kind of true.
I know.
It's like a weapons manufacturer.
Yeah.
He's just out there pumping out wands.
This is true. Literally, that is like their only weapon.
Yeah. And then it's crazy too, because Fred and George are government contractors.
That's crazy.
I know.
That's cool.
That is really cool.
I like that.
I love that they're literally like creating stuff that's so good that the Ministry of Magic comes and sees, and they're like, it's a joke shop, but this stuff works. Let's, place an order.
I feel like it shows you how serious it is too, because that like happened in American history, where like companies would just start making like weapons or whatever resources they have. Even in COVID, like breweries were just like selling straight alcohol for like hand sanitizer.
Yeah, so
like,
true. Yeah,
my uncle knows some guy with like a brewery, and he would just literally get like straight alcohol from him as hand sanitizer in like bottles. It's crazy.
That's nuts.
But yeah, it's just like one of those things that it gets serious, and you gotta get your resources.
I remember, COVID was a good lesson in that. A lot of companies just dropped what they were doing because they were like, let's supply whatever it is for people. I knew people were doing that with hospitals because they had a respirator shortage. So like a lot of companies, car companies, were doing that, where they were like, we make the same thing. Let's just all band together and give you a bunch of respirators. Yep, that's cool. I like that Fred and George are into that, because number one, it shows they're brilliant, and number two, I think you're exactly right. It shows how serious this situation is. Yeah. Like we're in war right now. It ain't a joke, even though they're at a joke shop.
Yeah, the only store that has still like nice advertising on it.
Which is, it's like an interesting thing. It's like there's a movie line. I don't know if it's in the book, but Ron goes, they reckon Fred and George reckon people need a laugh, which I feel like is very true.
Yeah.
If you're in like a rough time like that, sometimes a good laugh helps.
Morale. You need to build morale.
Even like the thing on the wall that says, why are you worrying about you-know-who? You should be worrying about you-know-poo, the constipation sensation that's gripping the nation.
Yeah. Equally as terrible issue.
Yeah. Let's be honest. That is, I would much rather face Voldemort than have to deal with that constipation sensation gripping the nation. They're great marketers. Yeah.
And they have an employee too.
Yeah.
They've expanded.
I know, seriously.
Mr. Weasley. To Mr. Weasley.
Oh, it's so good. What do you think is their best invention out of everything that they've made? What was like one thing that you saw that you're like, dang, that's cool?
I don't remember like the specific list of things.
There's a few things, like there's decoy detonators that you set off. Oh yeah. And they cool. Walk around and like, detonate, which is a decoy. They I don't know if they created this, but they like I don't know, maybe refined it. Peruvian instant darkness powder. Mm-hmm. They have that. And then shield hats is another one that they had.
Oh yeah. The shield hats are cool.
Yeah, it is.
That was like at Hogwarts too, right? That was like a carry through of. They did something like that. I think I forget what they made, but they had. In the last book, they did something like that with hats. So I thought it was like a redevelopment of that. But I could
Hermione
be wrong.
was knitting hats.
I don't know.
The fourth one. I don't know.
Maybe I'm making it up.
You might be making that up.
I do that a lot.
It's probably somewhere in there, deep in there, but I just don't remember it. And if I don't remember it, I don't know if it's in there.
If you don't remember it, it's probably not in there.
Yeah.
I've read this book like 30 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those are all cool. I think Harry took the detonator ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he took some improving instant darkness powder.
I would probably take the instant darkness.
Yeah.
Because like the detonator, you have to be in a specific situation to use it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the darkness, you just throw that anywhere.
Yeah. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. It would be fun.
Okay, I want to read you 2 lines and 2 different questions off of these. They had drawn level with the only shop in Nocturne Alley that Harry had ever visited, Borgin and Burke's, which sold a wide variety of sinister objects. There, in the middle of the cases full of skulls and old bottles, stood Draco Malfoy with his back to them, just visible beyond the same very large black cabinet in which Harry had once hidden to avoid Malfoy and his father. Judging by the movements of Malfoy's hands, he was talking animatedly. The proprietor of the shop, Mr. Borgin, an oily-haired, stooping man, stood facing Malfoy. He was wearing a curious expression of mingled resentment and fear. "You know how to fix it?" "Possibly," said Borgin, in a tone that suggested he was unwilling to commit himself. "I'll need to see it, though. Why don't you bring it into the shop?" "I can't," said Malfoy. "It's got to stay put. I just need you to tell me how to do it." What is he trying to mend?
I don't know. I just thought of the ring that Dumbledore has because that's like broken.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that was mentioned. I feel like that was broken.
Yeah.
But I feel like for this guy to be mending it, like it wouldn't be a wand, I don't think, because he's not a wand maker.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
It's something weird. It's something dark because he's going to Borgin and Burke's to do it.
But is it like to do with his mission though?
Maybe.
Blink once.
Yeah. I was thinking about this the other day. I really can't wait for Lord of the Rings so I don't have to like gaslight you and like like say like I don't know. It could be. Couldn't be. We could just literally have full on discussions about this stuff and we could like theorize together. That's gonna be great. I can't wait for that. There is another line. It says no. Or "No," said Malfoy, and Harry knew just by his tone that Malfoy was sneering. "Perhaps this will make you more confident." He moved toward Borgin and was blocked from view by the cabinet. Harry, Ron, and Hermione shuffled sideways and tried to keep him in sight, but they all could see what all they could see was Borgin looking very frightened. What did Draco show Borgin?
I think it's a dark mark.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then Harry thought it was a dark mark too, so then I feel like it's not.
Okay, so whatever, if Harry thinks it's not.
But that's definitely what I thought in the moment. Like, that just makes sense to me. Like, trying to prove himself as a Death Eater now. Like, you should fear me. And that makes sense with why he was, like, reacted to the girl touching him. But, yeah, because I was like, what if this is, like, his mission is, like, hazing to be a Death Eater? Like, you know, like, you gotta, like, do something crazy.
He's pledging to become a Death Eater right now.
Exactly. So, I don't know. I feel like it could be a dark mark. Because I totally feel like Voldemort would use a teenager. Like, he would definitely use kids.
Yeah, he's pretty evil. He would definitely have, like, an army of children.
I don't think it's out of the question.
Interesting. Okay. So he potentially is a Death Eater now.
Yeah. Because his dad's in Azkaban?
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's taking up the mantle?
Yeah.
Ouch.
I think he's that, like, I think he would be that bad to be a Death Eater. He wants to be.
Do you think, okay, so let's do a real quick character study on the Malfoys. Do you think they really want to be? Like, do you think that they're like dead set on being Voldemort's?
I think at one point they really wanted to, but probably given how far the situation has come, they probably want to get out.
Yeah. So
I think once he rose again, they'd probably be like upset about it and like, oh, now we just have to like serve him again.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to get tortured or killed. But I think probably like Draco actually probably wants to be a Death Eater. Like, out of the love of his heart for Voldemort. Like,
he seems like he has something to prove too, like a chip on his shoulder or something like that.
Like, I don't know if he his parents are probably indebted to Voldemort at this point, but I don't know if Draco would like pick up on that and he like would see it as a bad thing. I think he probably wants to be like a better servant to Voldemort.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
So.
Yeah, I think that's a good assessment of him.
Because Crabbe and Goyle's parents are also Death Eaters. So.
Yeah. So it's like the changing of the guard. It's like they're the ones that are stepping up now and like, you know, being evil, but they're trying to outdo one another.
Yeah.
With their evilness.
And I think there's just going to be more and more Death Eaters as it goes on. So I don't think it's going to be like a select group of 15 people that are all servant to him.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Okay.
We shall.
Chapter 7 is the Slug Club. Give me a quick summary of this one.
Slug Club. So Dumbledore picks up. Wait, how does Dumbledore get Harry? Where do they come from? The Burrow?
Yeah, they're at the Burrow.
So I don't know. Dumbledore and Harry end up at Slughorn's place.
No. That's not the Slug Club. That's previous.
Was that last podcast?
Yeah, that's 4. Well,
crazy.
I'll cut all this out. Don't worry. This is on the train. So they're on the train to the school, and the Slug Club is when they Slughorn like invites them into his compartment, and he invites like the best and the brightest students.
I read this at like 2:45, so my speed reading is not sticking.
So it was like you just got to see Slughorn's character more. So he invites
Zabini.
Yeah, Zabini, because Zabini's mom was
hot.
Yeah, it was hot.
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ginny.
Yeah, he invited Ginny because Ginny did a great bat bogey hex or something like that.
Neville, Harry. Or was Neville there?
Yeah, Neville was there, yeah.
The Slytherin kid's Zabini, right?
Yeah.
And there's like 2 other people.
I think like Montague or someone. Yeah, I forgot exactly who, but the real question, would you want to be part of this little slug club?
Yeah.
Really?
I would, but then I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't have my heart in it, but I would like want to see what's happening, and I would want him to like me. Yeah. And then I'd just be like, oh, but I don't really care.
Yeah. You got to play it cool. Like, I don't really want to be part of this, but secretly you're like, oh, it'd be kind of cool to be part of the elite group.
You just like see what's going on, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that's actually a really astute observation too, because I mean, out front, if you look at the slug club, you're like, it's a little greasy. It's like gross. He's like, you know, trying to get these students who are rich or who are going to be famous. And he's just kind of trying to leech onto them for, I guess, like favors or whatever. Yeah. Just like to be in their good graces. So the whole concept of it is a little icky when you know that, because you know who Slughorn is. But at the same time, I would definitely want to be a part of this. It's like 100% like, if a teacher thinks well of you and thinks you're going to succeed in life, and like thinks you're gonna do well, what student wouldn't want that?
Yeah. And if anybody else did it, like if McGonagall did it, you'd be in so fast. 100%. You'd be like, oh, this is gonna set me up. Yeah. This is awesome.
Imagine if Dumbledore did a club like this. Yeah,
that would be
and
great.
You got invited to Dumbledore's like dinner with 7 people. Yeah. And you were one of the 7 people in the school that got selected. You're like, oh my gosh, dude, this is
the teacher's pet.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, he's a Slytherin, so I feel like Harry doesn't like him immediately. Yeah. But he didn't seem that bad in like the previous chapters, like in his house. So
he's the good Slytherin. He's like, you know, he's just a little oafish, a little strange. You know, so I will say he's not the perfect prototypical Slytherin, but he is what Slytherin really is. Because like we view Slytherin right now as being evil and like terrible and awful.
But I'm a Slytherin.
Yeah. So they're ambitious, which is why you want to be part of the Slug Club.
Yeah. True.
So you don't have the nasty perception, but if people are reading this book up until this point, and this is like one of the biggest qualms that people have, is that like all Slytherins are evil. Yeah. But that's not true. Slughorn is a great Slytherin. And he's like, he's attracted to ambition. He's attracted to people who are, you know, going to be powerful and like famous. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. It's like he's just good at recognizing greatness in people and like helping foster that. And that's a huge hugely important thing in a person's life.
Yeah.
And especially if you're not, because when I was in 4th grade, this is where all my trauma started.
I was going to make a joke, but I didn't.
Oh, you're going to like, 50 years ago? When I was in 4th grade, about half the class went off to Gates. It was gifted and talented education, the GATE program. And I never got to go. And I was like, I'm a smart kid. Why am I not going to Gates? And all these kids scampered off and did their like cool little projects, and they came back gloating about how smart they were. And I'm over here sitting there like,
just average brain.
An average guy. And I remember that being devastating to me, not being part of this elite group. And so I still remember, like, I think I saw this on like TikTok a few days ago or something like that, about how you always, you don't remember like all this different stuff that happens in like sports. You don't really remember what happens in like major events that happened like last year. Like I couldn't tell you who won like, the World Series or whatever it is last year. But I could tell you and pinpoint certain people in my life who have like said really meaningful and impactful things to me that have like changed the trajectory of my life. And I feel like Slughorn is actually really good at that.
Yeah. He could probably be a really good character in a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, seriously.
Like doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
But I always think like there's hundreds of Slytherins that are not getting written into the book. And I like hold out hope that there's like a lot of good Slytherins. Because the main portrayal is like Snape. Yeah. Who is like pretty bad. Yeah. And then Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle. And they're like, they want to be Death Eaters in my opinion. So it's like, it's kind of skewed.
Yeah. But I like that headcanon. That headcanon, they might shift here and there. There's one thing that Slytherin fans unanimously want in the books, in the last book, that they didn't get. And we will talk about that and definitely get there. Okay. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. I wish, in my head, there's like only 5 bad Slytherins. The rest of them are just ambitious, trying to get best grades in school. They're like.
But it seems like all of them are bad.
Yeah, I agreed. Yeah.
Reading the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tragic.
What do you think of? Okay. What do you think of the female characters right now? Of mainly Hermione and Ginny.
Ginny, I feel like they're like she's just gonna be like the hot girl, I feel like. Yeah. And they're just like, she's winding up to that, I think, which is kind of annoying. Because I think she's like, she has an awesome personality and she's definitely written that in. But then I feel like the overarching thing is just that she's like she's hot. All the guys want her. Yeah. But I mean, she is very intelligent. She's spunky.
Yeah, she's got
really
spunk.
good at magic. So I like Ginny. I like Ginny more than Hermione.
Really?
Yeah. Because Hermione just like irks me. She's annoying. Like I don't think I've really ever enjoyed like Hermione's personality.
Yeah, she's a little annoying.
Yeah.
She's a little more intense as well. When we watch the movies, I think your opinion's going to change of certain characters. Your opinion will definitely change of Ginny. And Hermione probably a little bit too. Hermione's not quite as maniacal and insane in the movies. In the books, like she's like, this is the line, says every now and then students would hurtle out of their compartments to get a better look at him. The exception was Cho Chang, who darted in her compartment when she saw Harry coming. As Harry passed the window, he saw her deep and determined conversation with her friend Marietta, who was wearing a very thick layer of makeup that did not entirely obscure the odd formation of pimples still etched across her face. Smirking slightly, Harry pushed on. Like, Hermione hexed someone so well that she went to St. Mungo's and couldn't get it removed. Like, she has sneak written across her face in acne.
But she was that could have killed Harry.
I know, it could have, but that is extreme, dude.
I know. What if she was just jealous of like Cho and then just like hexed her friend to get back at her? Ooh. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she just hexed her specifically and it wasn't on like the paper.
I like these side theories. Becoming a headcanon for me now. I like it.
Yeah, I feel like Cho's a good character.
Yeah.
I like Cho. Mrs. Weasley, I feel, is more calm, even though things are chaotic.
Mrs. Weasley is she's one of my favorites in the books. I love when I read her, just because, you know, she's like a very typical mom, like very overprotective, but you can tell how much she loves everyone. And like I really feel like she is doing a lot of the main work here, like of keeping everyone safe, you know, like really nurturing people and taking care of people. And she's fantastic in this book. I love her so much. And I'm the same with with Cho. I really like her. I kind of wish that her and Harry would give it another shot. They're a little bit more mature now. Their whole relationship was essentially built on the fact that Cedric died.
Not ideal.
Not a great start to a relationship. Yeah.
Tonks is weird. We have no explanation yet.
Yeah, okay, so that even comes up in the next chapter, which is chapter 8. Snape victorious, and we see a little picture of Tonks here. What do you think about Tonks?
I don't know. She's just like sad, I think, and then I don't know if it's just because it's Sirius's death that's affecting her, but they keep being like her hair was normal. She looked tired, and I'm like, she's allowed to not have neon pink hair for a day.
You're allowed to have off days. Yeah. Goodness gracious.
So I don't know. I don't know why she's upset.
And then her Patronus has changed.
Yes. What is up with that? I just said, is that trauma? Like, is that a trauma response that like suddenly?
Do you think it's a willing thing? Or do you think like you experience trauma and your Patronus just automatically changes because your like mind is being changed?
I would say it's an unintentional change.
Okay.
But maybe there's some magic of like if someone you love dies, you can like adopt their Patronus or something.
Ooh, okay.
And like give their Patronus a second life.
Whoa, okay. So is her Patronus Sirius's?
I don't know. What is her Patronus? It wasn't like a horse. That's what the chapter art looked like.
Yeah.
I don't know if it said. I was really speed reading that.
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess this is Tonks. It looks like a dog or something.
Tonks' original was a jackrabbit. We don't really know what her current one is.
It looks like a dog.
I think the closest thing, it's like, it looks like a dog.
A dog.
A dog. So is that Sirius coming back in?
Is it? Is it just Sirius in dog form?
Yeah.
I don't know. What was Sirius's Patronus? Do we know that? Did that happen by the lake? I don't think so because Sirius got attacked by the Dementors. He didn't.
Yeah, his was a black German Shepherd. That's pretty cool.
A black German Shepherd. I don't know. Maybe it's like you just have like a new phase of life, like something changes and then your Patronus changes. But I don't know why Snape felt the need to insult it and be like, the last one was better.
It looks weaker, yeah.
Like, aren't they all the same?
Yeah, it's an interesting discussion about Patronuses. Why would one look weaker than another?
What is it called when the Patronus is a full Patronus?
A corporeal Patronus?
Yeah. So, like, that's her corporeal Patronus, though.
Yeah, it's still a strong thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there's maybe, like, radiance about it. Like, one looks stronger than another. I've heard this chalked up a few different ways, too, and I haven't come to, like, a fully satisfying answer. I think once I said that maybe it was, like, less vibrant and less brilliant, and someone shot me down and said, no, it's, like, the animal itself, how one looks weaker than another. But if hers used to be a jackrabbit... and then hers is now a wolf. I think a wolf is a little bit more impressive than a jackrabbit.
I feel like there's a lot of weird Patronus animals anyways. I think mine was like a dolphin or something.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is the most average one that everyone has.
Everyone's is a dolphin.
Yeah. And we don't like dolphins.
Yeah, we don't like dolphins, yeah. Talk to some of my marine biologists about why dolphins suck.
Yep. Your life will be ruined forever. On the topic of like character traits, it kind of hit me when Malfoy was in the train car with everyone, but then with Harry, was like he was being a lot more measured than I think people give him credit for, because like he knew something was off. Like he saw Harry's shoe and then he heard Harry grunt like when the luggage hit him, but he like held off until he was like alone with Harry, and then he attacked him. But I was like, I feel like we think he's much more volatile than he actually is, and like he really thinks things through, but he likes to control the situation. So I feel like he's maturing in that sense of like he knows what he wants to accomplish, but he's like actually doing a better job of getting it done, even if that's just like hurting Harry. But then I felt like he should have taken the invisibility cloak.
Agreed.
That would have been like the cherry on top of his attack, but he missed that.
I think that's a great characterization. I think you really see Draco take some strides and become a lot more mature in this chapter. We're just in this stretch so far of what we've seen from him. He's like weirdly becoming a man. And why he doesn't take the invisibility cloak baffles me.
Because Harry would have been found, though.
Yeah.
Which is like obvious reason one.
Yeah. Obvious reason one. I think even to what you're saying, the maturity that he has and how he's able to calculate things, I don't think that he would have been able to keep it. I think Draco knows how, I don't know, like the seriousness of how much an invisibility cloak like that is worth. But Draco grew up in a magical family. Like his family is filthy rich. And he probably is around some of these weird objects all the time. So I'm sure he's saying, like, if I steal this and I go into Hogwarts with this invisibility cloak, I'm going to get in trouble from, like, you know, Dumbledore and McGonagall. And he's going to get more unwanted attention, maybe. He doesn't seem to want. He seems like he wants to fly under the radar this year.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Was like he waited till Crabbe and Goyle were gone.
Yeah, agreed.
So he's not doing it for laughs or attention. Like he's going to tell the story when he's back at Hogwarts, but it's like totally different in the moment.
Yeah, agreed. He's not. Yeah, it's a great point. Great. We got to do more character studies of some of these people. That's great. What do you think of Snape?
Very annoying.
Yeah.
Not enjoying Snape. I feel like he's being over the top mean for no reason again.
Yeah.
Like you're alone with Harry. Like you could literally just talk about being in the order, but no, you need to just be a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Yeah, he's pretty nasty.
But he's not going to be the potions master. He's going to be the dark arts.
Which, I mean, I think it might be worse for Harry because he likes defense against the dark arts.
That's so true. That's his favorite class.
So he's going to kind of be screwed in that. Although, here's another point. That position is cursed.
Is it,
no teacher has lasted
what if
for
Snape's
more than a year.
just cursing it?
Why is that position cursed?
Because Snape is cursing it until he gets it. I don't know.
Snape the whole time.
I think it's not cursed. It's just like it seems like it is.
What's that? Yeah, I feel like there's a term for that.
Yeah, I also feel like there's a word that
not like a red herring, but like something like that.
Yeah, so I don't even know like what he's gonna be like as a teacher because he's like I'm assuming he's gonna be just as evil and annoying.
Yeah.
But like the fact that he wants to teach this subject, like I guess he likes it.
Yeah.
But he's literally the potions master. Like there's no one greater.
I know.
So I don't know.
How do you think Slughorn's gonna be as a potions master?
I don't know. Like what even does he have to do with potions?
I don't know.
Like why that? I guess anybody can just follow a recipe and that be that, but
I mean, I have a slight debate about this. I don't think everyone can follow a recipe perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, I can't.
So. Like, there's definitely some things that people who are exceptional. I mean, like, I always equate it to, like, cooking. There's some people who can follow a recipe, and there's some people who can cook. And, like, you know, they look at a recipe, and they're like, oh, I can change this and this and make this better in this way. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Snape was kind of like that, and I feel like Slughorn might have some of that. Anybody who's, like, a potions master can definitely, you know, like, crush a recipe. Crush a potions recipe.
And he doesn't need a recipe either. Like people just ask him for stuff and he makes it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like Slughorn's just gonna be annoying. He's gonna like be like, Hermione, come to the front of class and like show us your potion.
But he's definitely gonna show favoritism to Harry too, because Harry is like the most famous wizard of all time.
Yeah, but Harry sucks at potions, right?
Do you think he's gonna be good now that Snape's gone?
Yeah, for sure. Because there's no pressure.
Yeah. Like
that was his issue, and then Snape would just like ruin his potions half the time. I felt like it wasn't his doing, Harry's doing.
Yeah.
But now he has to deal with defense against the dark arts being ruined.
We're gonna screw up the whole year with that. Come on.
What if Snape just like fights with him the whole time and just like duels him?
Oof.
That would be brutal.
Just puts him on blast. Every single day they have to duel until Harry beats him.
You felt like you were good enough to start your own class. Why don't you come to the front and show me what you got?
That is something that Snape would do. He would bully him to that extent. Dang, that would kind of suck. Why do you think Snape is so mean?
His mommy didn't love him. I don't know. I feel like we started to get into that in the last book, that he's traumatized and bullied.
Yeah.
But I feel like you should be able to overcome that.
Yeah. I wonder what his mom's name would be. If his name is Severus Snape, I wonder what his mom's name is.
Cruella?
Cruella Snape? That's not bad, actually.
Cruella DeVille?
Yeah, Snape's no fun. Anything else in these chapters? Again, there's not a ton that goes on.
Nope.
Okay, so I want to talk about wand lore right before we end. Because
wand lore?
Yes. Okay. That's what it's called, Lizzie. Don't make me look like an idiot when I'm saying the proper terms.
Just clarifying.
I said, let's talk about wand lore, and you look at me like, wand lore? Okay, what a nerd.
Whatever. Proceed.
Let's talk about wand lore. Someone gets a new wand in this chapter. And this is the line. They're staring at you because you were at the ministry too, said Harry, as he hoisted his trunk into the luggage rack. Our little adventure there was all over the Daily Prophet. You must have seen it. Yes, I thought Gran would be angry about all the publicity, said Neville, but she was really pleased. Says I'm starting to live up to my dad at long last. She bought me a new wand. Look, he pulled out and showed Harry. Cherry and unicorn hair, he said proudly. We think it was one of the last ones Ollivander ever sold. He vanished the next day. Oi, come back here, Trevor. Do you think that Neville's going to be better with a new wand?
Was his first wand for himself? He went to Ollivander and it picked him?
Mm-mm. Okay,
so then, yeah, he's going to be better. Because it's actually his wand.
But here's the conundrum, though. So he is going to the wand shop. So the wand chooses the wizard. So the wand selects Neville. And so this wand's going to work for him. But will it work better for him than his previous one? Because his previous one, it belonged to his dad. So does a wand passed down have more power than a wand that chooses you? Start from fresh and start from scratch.
I feel like a start from scratch wand where it chooses you is more powerful than a passed down wand.
Okay.
Even if a ton of powerful magic happened between your wand and your dad, I still feel like there's some power in the wand picking you.
Okay.
Because what happened to James Potter's wand or Sirius's wand?
Yeah, that's a great question. We don't really know where their wands are or what happened to them. Sirius's wand went with him to the underworld, whatever it was, to the afterworld. The veil. Yeah, beyond the veil. It seemed to have gone with them beyond the veil. But the same thing, what happened to Lily and James's wand? I'm sure wizards probably have to have some kind of wand ceremony when the person dies. Because could it potentially be dangerous? What we know about wands at this point is vague in general. It's that the wand chooses the wizard. That's essentially all we know. And there's something weird behind that. We're okay, what is really going on that the wand is choosing the wizard? But can a wand choose a new owner?
Can you thrift a wand? Is that what you're
saying? For real. Exactly.
I don't know. And the other thing is that wands, they have a memory bank that you can pull out old spells from.
Yeah.
So I feel if you have a used wand and you have the capacity to pull out the old spells, that's dangerous. Ooh. So I feel wands probably should be destroyed when their owner dies.
I mean, it's not we're not
or bury it with them.
Yeah. Maybe repurpose it. Figure out a way to take the core out and swap things. Switch things around, make it a little shorter. I don't know, put it in some propagate it. Make it grow little shoots and you
plant it and just become a wand tree. Maybe that's how you get wand trees, is you just plant a wand.
Ooh, I kind of like that, actually. I like that idea.
Yeah.
That's like, instead of planting a tree, like a seed at someone's grave, you plant like a wand and it grows into a tree, and then that's what wand trees are. Kind of like that. A little headcanon right there. That's kind of sick.
Instead of a bouquet at the gravestone, you just plant their wand.
That's cute. I kind of love that.
Yeah. I don't know. Wands are very mystical. They're like in their own category. Because it seems like they have some kind of like awareness almost.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they're like, I don't know, they're not choosing per se, but there's a certain like fit when they find their next master.
Yeah, the gloves got to fit in some way. Wand lore, again, is a weird subject, but especially with Ollivander gone, I think these chapters are kind of forcing you to think about that in some way. Neville got his new wand, so it's like maybe the question is, will he be better now than he was before? Or will he be worse because maybe he doesn't, maybe like wand power doubles when, you hand it down or something like that. Or, yeah, so.
But did Ron improve when he got his better wand?
It kind of just remained the same. His was a little, that's actually a fascinating question. I think I would chalk that up to him being a little too young. Like, he's in his second year. In his first year, he literally like doesn't even do magic. He's just like holding wand. In his second year, it just breaks and he doesn't really have any practice with it. So he could have been really good with it, maybe in the end of his educational career, but we just never got to see him be established with his prior wand. Neville's a little bit different. He's kind of fumbling and he's kind of like not great with it. So maybe if he turns around and is an incredible wizard now, we can chalk it up to the wand. But I don't know.
Maybe.
I know. Anyway, that's all we got. Anything else?
I don't think so. We covered it.
Give me a hot tamale from this chapter.
Hot tamale. The random oars that accompany the crowd to Hogwarts. The bodyguard oars.
Right. I kind of respect that. Those are kind of hot tamales. I would say Ginny, but I think Ginny, I kind of have I'm with you. I think Ginny's becoming like an it girl, but I'm not the biggest fan of that. I feel like she's actually becoming a little mean. Like when you become the it person, you like feel like you can do anything.
Yeah.
And like, so she's mean to Ron all the time. And like, it's a sibling rivalry, so you can kind of be mean to each other. But I don't know. She's like cool, but she's like flirting that line of being a mean girl. So I'm gonna give my hot tamale to Neville. My forever hot tamale.
That was like not what I was expecting.
Solely for the fact that he seems a little more confident, and he's like, his gran is pleased with him. It's like, it seems like he's getting on a better trajectory here.
I feel like Fred and George are my hot tamales.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because they're like really thriving in life right now.
They really are. In the middle of war too, they're like thriving. I love that.
They got those magenta robes on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining us on our journey of Harry Potter and the Second Time Reader.
Bye.
See ya.